So for today's video, I'm going to be going over all the 2026 champions and just talking briefly about them on if I think you should rank them up for your roster. And of course, if I don't think so, then there's going to be other champions probably from previous years that you probably want to rank instead. I'm really just comparing them to champions from previous years that you probably already have, and really should you rank these characters up over older characters, ascendable characters especially, because there's probably even some ascendable characters in the Ascension base pool who might be more appealing than some of these. But we'll go ahead and get into it. I'm going to go from the first release and then all the way to July. Of course, we're only in July when I'm recording this, but we'll go ahead and start with Jonah Jameson, who firstly I was a bit higher on release than I feel like he actually turned out. I feel like this guy in BGs is probably a lot worse than I expected him to be. I don't think he's an incredible tech champion compared to many tech champions from last year. Maker, Solvark, and Bastion all clear him pretty easily, in my opinion. The advantage he has over those three is fighting gentle. I'd say Maker would be the best at fighting gentle of the three from the previous years, but his slow is very good, and I feel like if you play Alliance War, this guy is a champion that you must have in your BGs, or maybe two of them would be really good. If you don't really care about Alliance War, or you have a lot of Jonah Jamesons covered in your BG already, I would not advise ranking him. He's very, very bad when it comes to longer fights. Coliseum and long form content he's awful in, and in BGs he's not as impressive as I expected. So Alliance War is where you should rank him if you do care about that. If you don't, then I would skip him. We're going to remove the 2026 filter for a moment because I need to find a champion who didn't technically release in 2026 in Doctor Strange as the next character, because yes, I'm including these buffed reworked characters as well. And for Strange, I do think you probably should rank Strange most of the time because he covers all the cosmics you'd really want to use him for, maybe aside from Deathless Thanos. He has maybe the strongest Nullify in the game, and it's really good on various nodes in Alliance War. I think he's a very good BG's champion. I've seen him take a lot of stuff from people who have rank 5 Stranges in my Alliance. They've done some really cool things. And he's got just a lot of utility in the kits, the ability power rate control, the block regen, and his damage in longer fights, especially Coliseum. He's a very, very good Coliseum champion in my opinion. And I'm very positive on Doctor Strange. I do think he's a champion you should rank, even if you have a good bit of Mystics already ranked. He's a good one to have on your roster. And then we'll move back to 2026, not just Mystic though. Stellar Forge, I'm not really going to talk much over. Rank them if you want. That's the same for pretty much every Stellar Forge champion we're going to see, which is right now only Star-Lord and Blade. Rank them if you want, otherwise just pass up on them. Then we have M'Baku, who I was a bit higher on release. I thought he would be okay. It turns out he's well below okay. He is actually maybe the worst champion of the year. You could make an argument of that. He has true accuracy, and that's it. That's his sole utility piece. His damage is maybe the worst of the entire year, and it's all due to the fact that all his targets are going to be utilizing the Inequity Mastery, and he has no way of dealing with the Inequity Mastery. So when I tested him on the beta, he was killing fights in like decent to okay times, but that was before the beta server had the Inequity Mastery on it. Now all my showcases of how will they affect MCoC champions do have it, and that 36% attack rating reduction is huge when you're fighting his targets, because they're all going to be debuff spammers. That's just kind of what the science class is now, and his damage output is genuinely awful. It's horrendous when you're fighting champions with that mastery, and so true accuracy is not going to save you at that point. That's all I have to say. I think he might be the worst champion of the year, and side tangent, me and my alliance had a funny little conversation about M'Baku, and we wanted to see how far back we could go to find a champion that was as bad as M'Baku, like on release champion. Like if they were reworked or something, or if they were rebalanced, still their on release version. We went all the way back to Misty Knight in 2022 before we could find a champion that was as bad as M'Baku on release. That's how terrible I think this champion is. So anyway, don't rank M'Baku. That's the end of the story. Okay, Blue Marvel. Blue Marvel, I don't think he's very good now, but once we actually get some long form content, which we just quite frankly haven't yet, I think he's going to be pretty good. I've seen some good Coliseum stuff come from him. We've actually sent him to Alliance War for some problematic fights as well. He can do some things, but he's not a BG's champion. He's going to be a long fight champion. The problem is there's just not a lot of long fight stuff going around right now. The long fight stuff that's really happening right now is Coliseum, and I don't think he's one of the best champions for Coliseum. I've seen him do cool things, but if we get another Necropolis type content, that's where you want to use Blue Marvel for, but until that happens, I would leave him unranked. But if you have him, I think he's going to be a champion that might be good for the future. Okay, next up is Pixie. Pixie is a champion who I personally really don't like, but I know a lot of people actually kind of do. I don't think this champion does it for me compared to a lot of other mutants that we've had recently. I think every mutant that released last year is better than her. But she does have some things to do. Like we've sent her to Alliance War a couple times, mainly for node 43, which is the Hazard Shift, Incinerate, and Shock node, if they play skill champs there. But she's really just an Onslaught replacement champ. Like, I think if Onslaught is available in Alliance War, there's literally nothing you want to send Pixie to. If Onslaught is banned in War, which in this current season he is whitelisted, I think, then there's like nothing that you want to send Pixie to if Onslaught is available. If he's not, then there's actually some stuff that she can do. In BGs, I think it's just like there's better mutants, and she can defend technically, but the way that fighters with just an evade counter, which a lot of tech champs now are using, Bastion, Jonah Jameson, Solvark, all from last year, and Jonah Jameson from this year, they're all going to cover that. I'm not very high in this champion, but I think some people like her a lot more than I do. But okay, now we have the best champ of the year though, and that's Madelyne Pryor, and I do think Madelyne is a must rank if you have her. I think the damage output on this champion is absurd. She can take every cosmic you'd ever want her to take. Null is like her worst matchup, and even then I think she'd be pretty decent for Null still. And it's just her damage output's nuts. The Rupture and Bleed immunity is very good for Alliance War. She's probably the best Alliance War champion that's released of this year. And if you play War, like, you could have like 5 Madelyne Pryors and not complain as far as your BG is concerned. And I think even this season she's not as good as she was the previous season, because she was tactic the previous season, but it all just depends on what champions are available and what champs aren't. And yeah, I think Madelyne is just kind of a ridiculous champion, and by far the best of the year so far. We're gonna go ahead and go to one more champion who was buffed once I find the filter, and that's gonna be Magik. So Magik is worse than Strange and worse than Maddie, but I still think she's very good. The problem with Mystics is that Mystic is just by far the best class right now, and I think Magik is a very good champion. It's just the problem is there's so many good Mystics they keep releasing, because Strange and Maddie both came within 3 months before her. I think those two champs are both better than her, but I still think Magik is very good, especially compared to a lot of other champs this year. And if you have a very stacked Mystic roster, you might not need Magik, but if you have Magik, which honestly you probably have a stacked roster if you have Magik, because she was from the Radiant store and stuff, you might not need to rank Magik, but I do think she's a very good champion. It's another champion I feel like if you like them, go for it. If you don't like them, you're not going to feel bad not ranking her. So then we have Dr. Bong. I was not insanely high on Dr. Bong when he first released, and turns out I was very wrong, because this guy is kind of ridiculous, especially in War. Like, he's maybe the best War attacker right now, and that's probably a lot to do with the tactic, granted. For instance, when he came out, I compared him a lot to Mr. Knight, and I do think Mr. Knight has advantages over Bong, and Bong has advantages over Mr. Knight. They do have advantages and disadvantages over each other, but Bong is War tactic and Mr. Knight isn't, and that's where he's getting a lot of extra play in War. I do think Bong overall, even without tactic, is a better War champion than Mr. Knight, but Mr. Knight's the champion I'd gravitate more towards. If I put him aside, I do think that Bong is a champion you should definitely rank if you have him. He was a double track champion. He's probably going to be in the next Titan pool, and he's very, very good. He is a very, very good champion. You should definitely consider ranking him if you have him. Ruby Thursday, another champ I'm actually very positive on. She is the best defender of the year so far, which is very good if you care about BGs. On top of that, she's the best tech attacker of the year so far, because I think she's better on attack than JJJ and Hobgoblin, who we're going to get to later. She counters pretty much every mutant you'd want her to take. I think there's probably some that I can't think of right now that she's not amazing for. But when I did the how will they affect MCoC video with Ruby, like, she was handling all I'd really want her to take. Like, she was doing a very, very good job. And again, she's the best defender of 2026. So there's not much I have to say about that. I don't think she has crazy utility, but the utility she has is exactly what you want in a modern tech champion for fighting the mutant threats that are in play. So I'm definitely pleased with Ruby. She is the best tech to rank this year. Blade, if you have him and you enjoy him, rank him. If you have him and you don't care about him, don't rank him. Simple. Wave is a tricky character. I think she is pretty close to the middle. I think she's pretty decent for BGs. You'd probably want her rank 5 if you were going to play her in BGs, though. I don't think she punches up very well. And obviously, getting a champion to rank 5 right now is still not something you can easily do. But if you have her at rank 5, she's going to cover a lot of ground. At rank 4, I don't think she's worth running in a deck, though. She needs to punch even for her matchups to be very good. War, I don't really see her doing much there. I really think the only game mode where she's going to do a lot in is BGs. And the fact that you do need her to be at even ranks is a bit of a problem. So I'm a bit lower on Wave because of that. But if you're willing to take her to rank 5, you're going to see results. I don't think rank 4 is going to be enough to see results in. So that's just my thoughts on Wave. We have another buffed character I need to go find real quick. And they're still in the Mystic class, and that's Ghost Rider. Of the 3 Mystic buffs, Ghost Rider is the one I was least high on. There's a lot of people in my alliance who are very high on Ghost Rider. They have Ascended Ghost Rider because they want him that bad. They like him a lot. They were convinced that he'd be really good in War, and I don't think he's nearly as good in War as some people think he is. And I think that I was lower on him while still thinking he'd be a good character than a lot of people, and I do feel like I was pretty spot on with my assessment of Ghost Rider. I think he's worse than all 3 of the Mystics that we've covered so far, but he's still a good character because Mystic is just stupid that way. Like, he's able to take all the cosmics you'd want, granted not as efficiently as some of the other characters we've seen, but he's just going to do a lot for you if you rank him. If you love Ghost Rider, you're going to see results. But if you don't feel like you love Ghost Rider, you're not going to be missing out compared to other Mystics that you can rank. I do think he's a very good character, but I just can't say he's better than the 3 Mystics I've talked about so far this year. So that's just my thoughts on Ghost Rider. If you love him, you're going to see results. If you don't love him, you're not going to feel bad not ranking him, which is, honestly, I think that's good. So Fila, I hate Fila. I think she is a character who just has not enough utility to crack it in 2026. She gets undermined, which is very good for Ruby Thursday. Outside of that, she's terrible for Zola, she's terrible for Solvark, which are the 3 only relevant tech defenders in BGs right now, or in the game right now, quite frankly. I just don't think I think tech is the worst defensive class, and so when you only can take one of the 3 of them very well, you're just not going to cut it. Like, I think Vox is better than her in almost every single way. The only thing I like Fila more than Vox for is the fact that Fila doesn't need to place debuffs at all, and Vox does. Anything in War I'd send Vox to unless it's a debuff immunity node. And the only utility piece that she really has is going Undermine. And she has Poison Immunity, which is just, so is Vox, I guess. And I hate making direct comparisons to other characters, but it really is just like Vox is better than her in almost every single fathomable way. And even, like, I almost prefer Super Scroll over her because of the immunities. He has the Vigilance as well. I think his damage is almost on par with hers, and I just prefer Super Scroll. And he's an actual champ that can defend, albeit not amazingly. And she can't. I don't like Fila at all. Her damage is actually not as bad as it looked in my How Will They Affect MCoC video because it was bugged on the CCP server. She wasn't benefiting from collectives, and I was doing all the matchups assuming that collectives would be in play, which would be another like 20% extra attack if they were there. So she wouldn't be struggling with damage as much if her damage was working, but unfortunately it wasn't. I just don't like her. I don't think she's very good, but she's better than she looked in my How Will They Affect MCoC video. So, Shatterstar. This guy's another Onslaught replacement champion, albeit I do think he's going to be better than Pixie at it. I think he's going to have Alliance War value, That's about it, though. I don't think he's going to be good in BGs. I think any other Daunted champion is going to be better. Gentle, Jean Grey, Cassandra Nova, Onslaught, Deadpool X-Force. I think all 5 of those are better than him in BGs. In War, there's definitely value for him because he has specific utility pieces tied to War, be it the resistances to DOT. I think he's going to have that kind of thing. But he can't defend, whereas all 5 of those characters, except Deadpool, are going to have better defensive value than he will. And I just don't think the utility is there outside of placing Daunteds. He has a glancing on the block, which is just cool at best, in my opinion. I just don't love him that much. Oh, he has Pursuit, actually. I'll give him that. I kind of forgot about the Pursuit, which isn't bad. But I just would gravitate towards other mutants before him. Between him and Pixie, I think he's better than Pixie, personally. But I'm also a Pixie hater, so there's that. But any other mutant from 2025, I'd pick before him. I've been saying that a lot with the characters this year so far. Hobgoblin. This is like, how many characters am I gonna say they're arguably the worst character of the year? It's kind of insane at this point. M'Baku and Fila and Hobgoblin are the 3 worst characters of the year so far for me. You could throw out any of them, and I'd say that's probably probably makes sense for the worst character of the year. And the worst character of like the past 4 years is like actually on the table for him. I think he's genuinely atrocious. He's good at fighting dust. And then in every single other scenario, you'd rather use Ruby Thursday, who actually can defend as well. And Jonah Jameson, I think, is better than him. And I just can't express how terrible I think this character is. Like, all the utility pieces that he gets, you have to work towards more than almost every other tech character. Like, you can get the Instinct passive, which lets you parry non-context, where there's like 4 other characters who released recently in tech that actually are used that can just do it whenever they want to. He also has one of the harder playstyles to use in the entire game, with just charging a heavy and canceling a special, which my phone doesn't even let me do. That's a whole nother thing, but even if it does, it's still not easy to do. So it's just like, there's no reason to. Like, rank any other tech character, and you will not feel bad about not ranking Hobgoblin. Like, any other tech character released in the past 3 years, and you will not feel bad about it. I think this character is genuinely terrible. Black Tarantula, though, we can at least end the video on a high note, because I do think Black Tarantula is the 2nd best character of the year, right behind Madelyne, and then I think Ruby Thursday would be my 3rd. No, Bong at 3, Ruby Thursday at 4. I do think I like this guy more than Bong. Again, that's probably the Mr. Knight in me, because I have a rank 5 Mr. Knight. I would use him for pretty much everything I'd use Bong for, outside of War Tactic. But Black Tarantula does stuff that is not comparable to a lot of other champions in the skill class, where he utilizes Halt as his main gimmick for utility pieces in the Science class, which is very good against Rhino, very good against Sandman, which are like the newer defenders in the Science class. He also gets the combo gain very well for Haivo. He doesn't need to worry about that matchup. Photon, he's genuinely maybe the best Photon counter in the game, because his regen is just absurd. And he also can dex her indexables because he just evades them. He's kind of insane. The only defender in the Science class he's not good for is Spider-Woman. And if there's one, if you can take all defenders but one in the class into a very good defensive class, which I think Science is a very good defensive class compared to like something like Tech, which I just think isn't, you're a very good character. And he's also got the 2nd best defensive potential of the year, probably, which we haven't really seen much of, but I think he's going to be the 2nd best defender of the year. I think this character is phenomenal, and you should definitely rank him if you get him, but you're not going to be able to get him until the next Titan. Same with Fila and Shatterstar, I believe. So yeah, that is my assessment of every character of the year as far as should you rank them or not. And it's kind of disappointing, because I feel like compared to last year, there's so many characters where it's just like, I don't see the value in them. Last year, there was maybe 3 where it's just like, I don't think I'd rank them. And the other 21 or so, I do think that there's a reason to rank them. This year is just not the case. And I do think there's a reason for that. And if that's a video you want to hear me talk about, I would do it, but I'd need to see interest in it first, because it would feel a lot like some of my older videos that I feel like were pretty controversial, where I think there's a reason for why characters this year aren't amazing, and I don't think it's the reason you think, and I feel like it might be a take that not a lot of people would want to hear. But I would definitely make the video if people see interest in it. So do let me know if you want to see that. But that's my assessment of the 2026 characters so far. We've still got 5 months of the year to go. Hopefully Agatha and Spidey Supreme, not Supreme, Symbiote will be promising. But I'm recording this before I know anything about them, so we'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.